Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, talking is cheap. But we can't all condemn the white man. There's something we got to do. The white man is doomed, but we got to help him on his way. And I don't mean in the jest of hate. I mean according to the plan of divine providence. He that has been up a long time must come down. He that's been down a long time must rise.
If you are an American Negro and an American Negro only, subscribe to YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify, Rumble, and non-crackers that out, Twitter X, or White Truths.
Sister is black, but she is sure not pretty, and her skirt is short. Lord knows the legs are steady, and to walk to school, she's got to get up early. Her clothes on, but they are never ever dirty. They're living just enough, just enough for the city. Her brother is smart, he's got more sense than many. His patience is long, but soon he won't have any. 'Cause to find a job is like a haystack needle. Was where he lives, they don't use colored people. They're living just enough for the city.
And now, our feature presentation.
But we can't all condemn the white man. There's something we got to do. The white man is doomed, but we got to help him on his way.
Subscribe to Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X for more white truths.
She was worthless, and she got attached to, I believe, heroin, and she started taking that, and she lost her job. So I started to.
Yeah, and you know what? I had a painkiller problem at this particular time. So me myself, I was taking opiates, and I remember the night before this match, I didn't want to feel the pain, and my sister dying, I ended up taking a little bit too many painkillers, and I passed out and woke up the next day late in the morning, and I was like, what happened? You know, it's almost like I overdosed, but I came to eventually without anybody's help, which I don't know if that counts as an overdose, but it did make me pass out until the next day. And, you know, at least I slept that night, you know, not having to think about my sister. But
Sally Budabaugh is the person who saw Kurt Angle allegedly displaying erratic driving behavior in September. Although she says she did not know who was driving at the time, she says Angle almost took off the front of her car as he pulled out of the Seashell Barn restaurant on Beaver Grade Road. Budabaugh told police Moon Township police showed up at Angle's home. He was right after Budabaugh reported the incident.
Decision nearly brings a former Olympian and professional wrestler to tears. Channel 11 News reporter Gordon Lush was there as Kurt Angle faced a judge on DUI charges.
It's taken a toll on my family. I regret it. It's something that, you know, I didn't do anything wrong.
Simple assault.
Angle
The video allegedly
today
shows Eric Angle picking up a student at a wrestling match by the throat. Bob Allen is live with more of the video. Bob.
Eric Angle is the brother of Kurt Angle, a WWE wrestler and former Olympic gold medal winner. Eric Angle was coaching a junior wrestling team at a local tournament. when he admitted he made a grave mistake. The incident happened at the Pennsylvania Junior Wrestling Championship at the Peterson Event Center. It was witnessed by parents, other wrestlers, and 2 police officers working overtime. Eric Angle was coaching the junior wrestling team. At the end of a match, the video shows a junior wrestler walking over to Angle. When he reached out with both of his arms and put his hands around the junior wrestler's neck, picked him up by the neck and threw him to the mat. When the junior wrestler got up, Angle pushed him with both hands. 2 police officers say the crowd was screaming and yelling about the incident. They pulled Angle and the junior wrestler aside. He admitted he messed up. He became upset and let his emotions get the best of him. Angle was escorted out of the building and told he would not be permitted back into the building for the remainder of the tournament. Now, Angle and his brother Kurt run the Angle Elite Wrestling Club here in Westview, here on Perry Highway. At last report, he was awaiting arraignment down at Allegheny County Court on a charge of simple assault. Reporting live in Westview, Bob Allen, KDKA News.
His dad was an alcoholic. His brother, high on drugs when he killed his wife. His sister died of a heroin overdose. Mount Lebanon native and Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle thought he could avoid the pitfalls that engulfed his family, and he became a wrestling superstar.
But not even fame and money can protect you from the power of addiction.
And that's just one of the topics we're tackling in a 1-hour special, Chronicle, revealing how addiction impacts everyone, even those who thought they would never go down that path.
I just wanted to be the best wrestler in the world, and I felt like it was being taken away from me.
Losing your edge is the driving force for any athlete.
Kurt Angle first gained that edge here in Mount Lebanon. This is where his passion to be the best began. It all started on the high school wrestling mats, and it carried him to the greatest stage in all of amateur athletics.
The Olympics and the gold medal, and he struck gold with a broken neck, an injury that would take his professional career in a dangerous new direction. 7 years after winning gold, Angle became one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling.
I went to WWE and I broke my neck. And I was prescribed painkillers for the first time in my life. It was 2003. And when I took the first one, I loved it.
He says those pills and the relief they provided made him feel invincible, but it also made him an addict.
Once I took that one painkiller, your body builds a tolerance. And now it didn't work, so I had to take 2. And then 2 ran into 4, 4 ran into 8. I was taking 65 extra strength Vicodin in a day. That could kill a horse. I felt like my career was being taken away from me. And I was going to do everything I could to keep it alive. So that's when the painkillers, I knew as long as I stuffed myself with painkillers, I couldn't feel it and couldn't feel the pain. And I would go as long as I could until my body couldn't go anymore.
He tells me he got those painkillers illegally, 2,000 pills a month. It was a secret life he dare not share.
As a celebrity, I was told, don't talk about it. Go to rehab, keep your mouth shut. When you get out, pretend like it never happened. Low point in my
Subscribe to Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Fanbase, and at Non-Crackers at Al on Twitter X for more white truths.
There was no trial, but the judge, as part of hearing about that plea agreement between prosecution and defense, heard details of what would have been presented to a jury. 63-year-old David Angle stood in handcuffs and his inmate uniform before Judge Donna Jo McDaniel and pleaded guilty to killing his wife Donna Angle at their Dormont home last fall. David Angle had been charged with homicide. Defense attorney Bill Diffenderfer says the plea agreement is to voluntary manslaughter.
It was really a product of alcohol, and it was a domestic fight where she started smacking him. He stopped her from doing that. His knees were on her chest, and basically she suffocated, and he was intoxicated as well, and it was almost accidental.
Wrestler Kurt Angle, seen here in video from his brother David Angle's first court appearance last fall, was not in court today. Kurt Angle said at the time,
"We're family, and we always will be. We love each other, and we're just trying to support each other."
Diffenderfer says other family was in court today for David Angle's plea.
His 3 children were here. He has a stepson Ian was here, and his daughter and son, both of it from the deceased and him, their children were here. And they are in very much supporting their father.
Sentencing will come on September 20th. That's when we could hear in court from David Angle himself. The penalty could be up to 10 years. Sentencing guidelines might put it closer to 2.
The brother of pro wrestler Kurt Angle has been indicted by a federal grand jury on drug charges. Eric Angle is accused of selling anabolic. Investigators say he was one of 3 men who would sell the drugs and then ship them under fake names. He is facing several charges. Angle was facing a simple assault charge earlier this year after an incident at the Peterson Event Center. Police say he picked up a boy by the throat and then threw him to the ground after a wrestling match. Angle was coaching a junior wrestling team at the time. That simple assault charge was withdrawn back in July.
Wendy, the court appearance here at Municipal Court was fairly brief, but it was quite emotional as Kurt Angle was here not only to support his brother, charged with killing his wife Donna, but also to support Donna's family.
Prayers out to my brother and the whole family, so it's a hard time for everybody.
For former Olympic wrestler Kurt Angle, being in the spotlight this time is tough, but supporting his brother David Angle is too important not to come.
It's hard for anybody that's going through this, so, you know, you just have to go with it and take it day by day.
Which is now 41 days. It was September 20th when police arrived here at the home Kurt Angle's brother David shared with his wife Donna in Dormont. According to court papers, David Angle told police that his wife was badgering him to drink vodka with her and that she tried to kick him before he pulled her off the couch and put his foot on her chest, killing her. Kurt Angle tells me he has visited his brother in jail and David is struggling with what happened.
It's all right. I mean, it's been really hard. Just, you don't expect something like this to happen.
But the details of what David Angle says really happened inside his home are still unclear. His attorney chose to waive today's hearing and would only say that he is confident in their defense.
Suffice it to say, my client was in love with his wife. That I mean, a lot's going to come out, obviously, at the trial.
For Kurt Angle, he grieves for both his brother David and his sister-in-law Donna's family, who he embraced in court.
We're family, and we always will be. We love each other, and we're just trying to support each other, especially right now.
David Angle is now headed to trial on 1 count of criminal homicide. Reporting live downtown, Marcy Cipriani, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
I was presumed innocent. Thank you to my attorneys. Seems like every time I get in front of a camera, I cry. I've had a hard year. I've had a lot of false accusations, and this was the hardest. I've never hit a woman, never would.
The reason why I was satisfied with settling was because we were able to come to an agreement where he would actually admit that there was a physical altercation that occurred.
And before he said that nothing happened.
He's stuck to his guns, that nothing has ever happened, that I had no reason to be afraid of him, that there's been no physical altercation. But now he has come forward and he has indeed admitted to that there was a physical altercation.
And why was that so important to you?
That is very important to me. As I stated before, I haven't really spoken very much about this or done very many interviews, but justice for me is for people to know the truth. That's what justice for me would be. I want people to know that domestic violence can happen to anyone, anywhere, and any time. And for someone to commit acts such as what he did towards me and to just deny them outright was very disheartening, and that hurt just as much as what actually happened. There's so many women out there that don't think that anybody will believe them. They won't come forward. This is one of the most underreported crimes that our country faces today. So many people, as we speak right now, are being abused by someone who they think that they love or that loves them, and that stops them from reporting it.
Talk about what happened that night then.
Well, that day, I really don't want to go into too many specific details, but I was attacked once again. It wasn't as vicious of a beating as I've received before.
When you say beating, what does that mean?
By beating, I just mean like a mauling, an attack. Anything that someone would use in combat has been used against me before by this individual. And at this time, I was trying to call 911 when this attack happened. So I was prevented from doing that. And he did what he needed to do to stop me physically from calling 911.
Mm-hmm. And so what happened next? You weren't allowed to call 911. Did something spark the attack?
Yeah, it was sparked by some comments that a conversation that he was trying to engage in with me in reference to a domestic violence situation against another individual, which had accused him of domestic violence, which I didn't really want to discuss that with him, being that I was a victim myself. But to me, it was kind of confusing and a little bit like another blow for him to come to me for comfort on that issue.
Because you knew.
Well, I know firsthand.
So what happened? How did it end?
The actual incident?
You weren't allowed to call 911.
No, I wasn't allowed to call 911. I don't want to go again into too many specifics about that. We will be discussing this in great detail before the judge, actually. But this wasn't the first time that it happened, so it wasn't like it was like, oh my gosh, again, you know, like it was probably the 7th time that something like this has happened. And you don't really, it's almost like an out-of-body experience every time. You don't want to believe that it's happening, and that person's apologized to you so many times and promised you it would never happen again, and you believe it. You want to believe it.
I want to present to you all another factor, and I hope Kurt Angle sees this. You guys think you got away with what you did to me, but the company completely crumbled after your evil conspiracy manifest. So God still whooped your donkey, because Chris won't let me say the A word. Listen, it wasn't Hogan, it wasn't Bischoff, it was Kurt Angle that destroyed TNA. Kurt Angle destroyed TNA. Chris, get on Wrestling Inc. and quote me. Kurt Angle's the one who destroyed TNA and Dixie. It was Kurt and Dixie, because Dixie is a mark. And she let a drug addict crackhead convince her as to how to run the company. Now, that's what he was at the time. He has admitted to it. And TNA was being run by a crackhead. Put that in the headline. TNA, Rocka Khan said TNA was being run by crackheads.
Montez actually served his country. You know, Randy Orton kicked out of Marines.
No, he went AWOL.
A menace.
He went AWOL. Oh, yeah. He went AWOL.
A menace backstage throughout his early tenure in the WWE. You know, all the shit he got up to, the failed drug test, shitting in people's bags.
I want to ask this question. No, I mean, because I want to ask this question. Let's be real about it. You know, we throughout history, especially with Hulk Hogan and stuff, we hear about all the nasty stuff that white folk have been doing. You know, the big drugs. You know, Scott Hall and Jake Roberts, they was just big filthy drug addicts, and Dustin Rhodes and stuff, just big sexual predators. Taz got a sexual, you know, he's a child molester and stuff, and that's on record. You know, oh yeah, brother, oh yeah. You know, white folk is filthy. Vince McMahon is filthy. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because Vince McMahon almost killed a woman the day that Hulk Hogan died, and he's being charged with a misdemeanor. He's not being charged with attempted murder. You know, we hear about all the filth. Kurt Angle, oh God, Kurt Angle family, his family is just so goddamn filthy. Stone Cold Steve Austin beating women, and Triple H just doing all types of nasty shit in China. You know, horrible stuff. You know, white folk is just so filthy in this business. Who are some of the filthiest American Negroes in this business? Who are some of the troublemakers in the American Negroes in this business?
Zero.
Let's wake that
you
shit
can't
up.
exist in wrestling as a Negro and have that kind of reputation. You just
Who's
can't.
the biggest drug addict? Shawn Michaels go out to bars and shit. Go ahead, gay bars. People forget that Shawn Michaels got his ass whooped in the gay bar. Yeah. Oh yeah.
They tried to say it was 20 people. Tried
to say it was 20 people when he got his ass whooped by one big ass fruit named Bubba. Let's wake that shit up. You got all these filthy ass people. You got all these filthy ass people, but you don't hear American Negroes getting into these type of troubles. You don't hear American Negroes going to jail. You don't hear of American Negroes starting trouble in the locker room and starting trouble with the staff. You don't hear American Negroes starting fights and getting into fights and stuff like that. American Negroes in pro wrestling tend to be on our best behavior. Am I not correct on that? I mean, how do New Jack do New Jack? Let me just say this real quick. Do New Jack ears say anything negative about New Jack?
Never.
More of Hulk Hogan peers have said negative things about Hulk Hogan than they ever said about New Jack.
I mean,
That's where white is gonna try to go.
It's hours and hours of content. You know, guys having just great stuff to say about New Jack. He's just, you know, one of those kind of guys.
Yeah,
but
the worst thing about New Jack was the mass transit incident.
And put him as Dusty Rhodes was a fucking racist.
I mean, people had issues with Dusty Rhodes from when he was booking WCW. Wasn't giving guys, you know, the spots they thought they deserved. But
He wasn't giving American Negroes spots they deserve. You know, let's get that shit up.
Putting his son on
Dusty
TV.
Rhodes was a white supremacist. Dusty Rhodes was a white supremacist because he had the opportunity. He had the opportunity to book American Negroes on the same stage to where he cosplayed and made his money on, and he outright refused to do it.
He gave PN News the spot.
He gave PN News the spot. As a matter of fact, he sent Two Cold Scorpio on his way, didn't he? Yeah. Come on now, this is a nasty history. And it's a nasty history that Cody Rhodes, if you sincere, this is a nasty history that Cody Rhodes will not address. You know, white folk got these problems with their parents and stuff, and they know that their parents is racist, but they'll expose every fucking thing, but they will not expose racism. Let's talk about Hulk Hogan and Brooke Hogan real quick. You know, they got a long-standing sexual history.
We here at Wrestling with Racism hope that each and every single American Negro enjoyed this edition of Wrestling with Racism, as we can assure you that wrestling with racism is not the easiest thing in the world to do. We here at Wrestling with Racism aim to exploit white truths. However, white truths isn't the easiest thing to live through. As we continue to wrestle with racism, we are in the second half of our second season, and Wrestling with Racism is hiring for key positions. We are actively seeking an editor. If you are an editor and you are an American Negro, please feel free to DM me your resume. You must be in tune with professional wrestling and social issues regarding race, specifically with American Negroes. You may DM me at noncrackersatl with the L on the end on Twitter X, which is also the place where you can find more white truths. Wrestling with Racism is also actively seeking an associate producer. Please DM me your resume if you are interested in the position. You may also DM me at noncrackersatl on Twitter X, which is also where you can find more white truths. To American Negroes, we encourage you all to voice your opinion on the state of professional wrestling and American Negroes' participation in professional wrestling on camera and behind the scenes, also in executive roles. If you would like to join HBK 400, Deportation 2025, the owner of a stolen gun, and our trusted, valued correspondents, Foundational Bearded American and Duke CT from the Duke CT Lounge. Feel free to DM me at NonCrackersAtAl on Twitter X, which is also the place where you can find more white truths. It is important for our voices to become collective as we are truly facing erasure. American Negroes, take care of yourself as an individual and protect one another as family. As our ancestor, Frankie Beverly, stated plainly, we are one. And that's the way it is.